How's it going, ladies and Bruce's up? I'll be Sixkilla and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Goodbye Despair. It is time to kick off what could probably be the final trial. Let's head into Monokuma Rock and see what's going down. Maybe everything will be revealed this time. The secret of everything.
Damn right.
Looks like everyone's here.
Huh?
This is it. Shouldn't there be more people?
Damn it.
Stop it, you're making me depressed.
Stupid fool!
So is it going to happen again? The cruel conflict where we must doubt our friends? But once we're through this, we can go back, right?
That's right.
And Monokuma bastard said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial.
Damn it.
But we've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way we can believe that so easily.
Of course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy's making us do all this is the one saying it, you know?
You know, right?
That's why I'll definitely survive. If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial,
That's right.
I'll definitely find out who the killer is, no matter what, even if I have to pull out all the stops. What the fuck? Why are you here? You haven't realized it yet? That feeling of wanting to leave this island? Thinking like it is Monokuma's trap, you know?
Huh?
What are you saying?
Got it?
There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse. Stop trying to jinx us.
I'll pick you up.
Damn right, stupid rabbit should just shut up. Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair. Huh? I finally realized after losing my powers, I realized that cursing your powerlessness, or your fate, accomplishes nothing. The possibility may be small, but as long as there is a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight.
Huh?
What's her deal? I don't really know, but she seems different from before. Maybe she read a self-help book?
Wait.
But her eyes, she looks so determined.
You.
What can you say just by looking at those button eyes? Anyway, make sure you turn off Minimaru. It'd be annoying if he started talking during the trial. Fine.
But still.
Somehow I understand what Monami was saying, I think. Anyway, let's get going. To the class trial.
Yep.
You're right, we need to fight as much as we can. No matter what the hopeless truth awaits us in the end. Here we go. Into Monokuma Rock. This is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock. Ooh, I hope you're all ready for a long episode. And probably, I can imagine that every episode after this is going to be long. Until the very end.
Yeah.
This elevator ride. This will be the last time for this too, right? I hope so.
Well,
Let's worry about things after we're finished.
you are right.
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us.
Damn it.
The killer managed to kill someone like Nagato. There's no way this is going to go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagato was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones who survived need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then the door slowly opened. The bright light greeted us. Is that the light of hope? Or the light of despair?
Well now.
Oh, then now that chatterbox Nagato is gone, there's only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell up.
Enough! Just fucking start this already.
Hey.
This is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Sure is. So you gotta show some enthusiasm, and make sure you give it your all.
All right.
Didn't I tell you? He said it. This is the end.
Now then.
Let's get this trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other. What? This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Nagato Kamaeda, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable. But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. Yes, he said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would even help despair just to prove that hope will never lose to despair. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. Also, he said he would become the ultimate hope, didn't he? But there were times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it, but there's not many of us left, man. There's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. Jeez, this page, there's only one left. That's why we will absolutely have to find out. The person who finished off Nagito. The killer who murdered Nagito. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. I'm going to put my bets in now. I'm going to say Akane. And if the Monokuma... that's the reason we need to do this. Just because she's the most aggressive one and she's already tried to kill him. And so, this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, the last one, has begun. And I don't blame her. He's a twat. So, you know. Maybe she did. But even if she did, it's okay. I forgive her. Oh, set skills. We got a new one, don't we? We got Envious Influence, whatever the hell that means. I mean, we might as well activate it, because I haven't been buying any new skills, because I keep forgetting. We'll just roll with what we got. It's all good. It's fine. We can cope.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
I can rest my throat. I got quite a sore throat at the moment.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Yeah, we know.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
She's pissed off.
You
Super pissed
ascended
off.
the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
Why is she so pissed off all of a sudden?
Chesto!
Chesto berry.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
Seems obvious to me, yeah.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Yeah, he's too much of a coward.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... here we go. Torture wound, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie. What are we talking about? Hit it.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's
Look how much
because the
health we
killer
got.
tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
The
Definitely the
traitor?
bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
What?
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured...
No, that's wrong. But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
What's the point of torturing him if he can't talk?
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
Obviously.
I'm prepared.
Okay. Already with the sword thing?
Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
What? Stupid? What are you talking about, you twat? Go on then.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you'd obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
What?
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Yeah.
Pay attention. This is first, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bombs. Then, after they killed him...
What?
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down! But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is first, the killer tortured and got information about then, after they killed him.
You're gonna get information out of him after they killed him.
Those words.
Tell me after I kill you, please.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
That's why it was sucked in.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
Why?
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Yeah.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or
Because
something?
I have a brain and you don't, Kazuichi. You know that. You in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape
To
was
scream
used
in
so he
pain.
wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Yeah, we all do.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
Looks like it, yeah.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard.
Crafty bastard.
If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
Didn't really work though, did it?
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
It's gotta be some kind of Rube Goldberg machine they set up, right?
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
Yeah.
Miss Sonia, you have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? You're right, we need to clear that up first. The oil lighter, presumably. Alright, let's see what the talk is about.
The cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Well, we already know that. Cool.
The killer used some kind of setup.
Yeah.
He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Yes.
Some kind of setup?
Oh, I get it.
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
No.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way...
It was set up so that the lighter would get tipped over when we kick the door in, and the panels knocked over like dominoes. That's how the machine
Maybe they
started.
used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
I agree with that. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Yeah. Let's set the
Just as I thought,
panels over as
it
dominoes.
was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels
They're in a
were
big
found at the
line,
crime
like
scene,
dominoes.
right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line.
It didn't seem relevant at the time, but it certainly
Just
does
a
now.
single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
Risky business.
Domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
Yeah.
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
Also, we opened the door with a massive amount of force. Which means it would have happened really
The
quickly.
warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
Oh, the music that was blaring. The killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect. The music, right? Yeah.
I see!
So we didn't hear them.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. And as if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels
How
falling.
come you could hear it?
But
You're
those
amazing.
sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. With those words again, I brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Except not slowly, because it doesn't work. It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it, it's a trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? Did I tell you to be fine? Just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Kinda ignored their protest and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
Yeah.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so
Agreed.
sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But they're just like paper
But
things,
the
right?
blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Ah, so the killer couldn't have
Is that
left
a
after setting it
problem?
up.
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If the door was the only entrance to the warehouse, so the problem Chiaki talking about is the killer couldn't have left.
I see! If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Right.
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
But everyone, all of us were
We
there.
were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You said that.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
Nagato. But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse, there's only one person who could have done that. Nagato, but he wouldn't have made it that obvious.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He killed
He was the
himself,
victim.
stupid.
And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
He's the only one crazy enough
His
to
body was covered in
mutilate
torture
himself
wounds.
like that.
Or did you already forget?
He probably put the tape over his mouth so he wouldn't scream. Over his own mouth so he
Are
wouldn't
you saying those
alert
were
them.
all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
He's the only one.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Yeah, if that's a thing.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like you said, it seems impossible, if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. What? Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, burned rope? One of the ropes on his right hand, the rope on his right hand was burned.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
One of his arms isn't tied up.
Couldn't do much with the free arm.
Oh, so that's
It'd
it.
be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
His arm's not really tied up. You only burned it to make it look like it got burnt in the fire. If our assumption that Nagato committed suicide is correct, Nagato should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right?
To actually
yeah.
tie up your own arms.
Yeah,
No, that's wrong!
you can do that.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
You might have just burnt the end to make it look like it got burnt in the fire. That's why the rest of him didn't get burned.
Burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. I guess his right sleeve because it's not burned?
I see!
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree?
Right.
A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Right.
Yeah, that should be the case.
So he did do a stepping stone thing after all.
That's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Why do you always say
You
that?
should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
How much?
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
How much is a Benjamin?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking
I hate to
about
think.
Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
Right. It's
It's
true.
impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
Not only did she try and charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it!
Why are you getting so grumpy for you, Hiko? It's not like you.
Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
Oh no. A way to stab yourself with the right hand using only your right hand. It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. Is there? Something to do with the setup, right? Maybe the Monokuma plushie? Or the blood on the girder? Or even the Monokuma panels,
Even
maybe.
if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that.
The plushie is definitely central to this argument. I think it is something to, the plushie has something to do with the spear
Monokuma
too.
plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
Yeah.
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
Sounds a
For
bit
a
far-fetched.
moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A
As if.
bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After
Too long for
stabbing
what?
his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
Okay.
The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, Getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito.
Yeah. Right.
If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it, and
I
his
assume the
left hand
cable was
all
wrapped
tied
around
up.
that girder that has blood on it.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
I don't know, he's pretty crazy.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I know what you're
Sorry,
thinking.
I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big
Thanks,
and thick, you
Kazuichi.
would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
Why do you have to kill himself so
you're saying
brutally?
It's impossible.
Just to make it more confusing, I guess.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
Yeah, Nagito's the only one crazy enough to hurt someone like that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone.
That's why he did
If
the
you even think about
the video
doing
thing
anything,
for
I
the
have
bombs,
a plan of my own.
because he knew he was going to be dead.
Monotomy's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course, that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone.
And no one here has betrayed us yet. The ones that have been
No matter
that have
how
betrayed
many
us are
times I may be
dead.
betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer.
We must be
But
getting
suicide
filtered
is
down to the better
unimaginable.
people here, right? The less
Do you really
treacherous
think
people.
so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
No. Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
Obviously that is to do with the girder and the rope that
Kinda
comes out of the spear. That's why he picked the
I
spear.
don't know.
Because it
You
has the
don't
rope
know.
hanging out of it.
It's
a
impossible to
counterweight.
figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
She's right, we made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. And then even now.
Alright, let's do this.
Oh, what have we done?
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail. I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you
What?
saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
If Nagito committed suicide, then he must use that spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs were tied up, there's no doubt he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is...
How did did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
Okay.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
Right.
He was only able to move his left hand.
Yeah.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only
Ah,
He used
it's
his
blood on his
maybe
left
he
hand.
used his- I know guys
It's
have
gotta
tails.
be.
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
How did Nagito's... Let's work together. When the
Those
spear
people
stabbed
things
his
are so
right hand
annoying.
was covered...
He was only able to move his...
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
He'd be holding the
But there was something off about his left hand.
weight on the
Bloodstain
end of the
palm
spear,
his hand. Don't you
In
think
his-
it looked
in the
somewhat
palm.
strange?
and then he let go to let the
He only
as
had
it
blood
ran
on the
over the
lower
girder
area
and the
of his
spear
palm.
fell onto himself.
Beyond that point,
He was holding the
bloodstain
other
suddenly
end of
cuts
it.
off, right?
When the
Obviously.
blood splattered. That's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description
And there's
of
blood
that
all over
blood
the
stain.
the
But
head.
it's not the only
the
unnatural
counterweight.
blood stain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural blood stain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit.
All right.
If there's blood on his palm, and the back
Not sure
of
about
his
the back of his
hand,
hand.
what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Oh, he was holding like this. So the blood was around here. Gripping.
I see.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand.
Yes.
That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and
Makes
back of
sense
his
now.
hand.
All coming together.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
What the fuck?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Yes.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
Yeah, they're just slices,
He
not
probably
stabs.
made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
You're not thinking far enough ahead. That's
Hey,
right, that's the
Chiaki,
problem.
What do you think?
It's obvious, isn't it? Come on.
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
She's always sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
What?
Oh, I got
What does that
it.
mean?
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Which section of the spear is holding onto? The cord, or rather the counterweight on the end of the cord.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too.
From his hands.
Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Oh, that's where his hand was, on that piece. Right.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
Yep.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
Because it was
You're
draped
not
over the
gonna
girder.
say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
You're also short-sighted.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
Fucking hell.
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Well, no. Nagito was gripping the cord extension extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
Oh, tea time.
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it was just before that... That's it, could it be? The state of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure out where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Oh, we already know the answer to that. Logic dive. Yay. I'm not very good at this. It's not the questions that I can't do either, it's the actual, like, snowboarding bit that's hard. Oh, shit. They just appear out of nowhere. Whoa. It's the jumps I'm not confident about. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above Nagito. Yellow. Oh shit, I'm moving things. Ow! What up with the moving things, huh? You're gonna run out of life like this. If you keep driving like this. Driving like shit. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else is above Nagito? Ceiling girder. That it was wrapped around, obviously. Whee! Ah, crap. Come on, give me another question before I die. Question 3. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The cord. Dunsky. Yellow, yellow, blue.
It's all coming together.
It is all coming together.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Right.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
Yes, he was holding it up there with
That'd
telekinesis.
be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
What a brutal way to go, man.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
Yeah.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Indeed.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
No.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body, That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Yep.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Yep.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
So that hope can prevail, etc., etc. You know, his
He was
stick.
probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
I don't think that's true.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Not lying. Geez, now I'm starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. That's stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I'd forgotten all about it till now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right?
Yeah.
Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other. And tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
Nice.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right?
This is too easy.
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is,
So
or...?
what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
I agree.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death, and it's something that even he couldn't mess with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death, a piece of evidence that even he couldn't mess with. I don't know. There are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. Is there something in here? Am I missing something? Noon sharp. Well, let's try the Monokuma file. I don't know what I'm missing.
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
The victim is Nagito Kameda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration. It doesn't say what his cause of death is. It's just telling you what all the wounds are. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file is that Chiaki is worried about is... What is it? What's hidden in the Monokuma file? There's no cause of death. Oh my god, letters everywhere. Where's the C? Ah, fucker. There's too much going on. There's too many letters, I'm just gonna ignore them. Just have to do it quickly, huh? Oh my god. Where's another E? I need another E before we die. Oh, my age. Dude, it's so apocalyptic when you have to do these. It's bloody annoying. How are you meant to do it without them all bashing into each other?
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
No. Doesn't say the spear killed him. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each thigh. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not?
Well, if it's not specified, then obviously not.
It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
That doesn't sound likely.
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Nikon's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place!
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
No, I don't believe that.
are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
I don't think so.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
You are right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying.
Shut up, Kazuichi. No one asked for your
You guys
opinion.
say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma! You heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be alright. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's
Aw.
right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagato said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then this situation we're in might be the thing that Nagato wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. Break time, is it? Yep. Good.
No, no!
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was going to start, but, well, if you think about it rationally, there's no way it was going to happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Monami? Hey, how much longer you plan to sulk? Let's get along like we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So, Monami and I are the bestest of bestest of friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough, why do I have to be hated that much? Besides the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy tiny 1mm bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know? We aren't even friends in the first place. And as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother. It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys. Well, there might be some demands for that. I fell for it. I totally took the man bait. The man bait? And we're going to wrap this one up here, and in the next one, expect a very long episode. This one was an hour, next one will be an hour and a half. And we will finally figure out what's happening, I guess. Till then, because Judith, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.